All right. Hey everyone, we're back. Chantal and Shawn, and we've got a fantastic session for you today because we're working on my upper carriage posture.
Correct.
And we've heard a lot of terms in the golf industry as far as the thoracic spine rotation. Mm-hmm. And so, just so everybody gets what we're talking about, I'm going to put this right in front of you here. And if we look at Skelly, you've got your spine that goes from the sacrum all the way to the back of the head, and there's the thoracic spine. And you notice, well, you've got the rib cage that's basically fused to that part of the spine. So it's a pretty rigid part of the spine. So the rotation, when we talk about it, is really occurring in the hips, the hip sockets, the legs. And we don't really get a lot of that in the thoracic spine, right? So, you know, we prefer to talk about that more in the sense of balancing. You know, I find that I need to get my back muscles a little bit more in shape so I saw myself giving a lesson to a student the other day, and I was going, oh no, that's not good. My wife would be slapping me in the back of the head, and so would my mom. So I'm really looking to improve on my day-to-day posture and feel like it's not an effort to stay in that posture.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
that's right.
I know you can help me out on that one.
Yes, I certainly can. So there's two ways: strengthening the muscles in the back, so we're able to stand up straighter without less effort.
Yes.
And also stretching the muscles in the chest.
Yes.
Right? Because what happens in these shorten as
exactly.
we're rounding our upper back. So it's great to build strength in the back, but we also want to stretch the muscles in the front. So today we'll work on that a little bit.
Awesome. And also I have a bonus for you. Because I was at the golf show last week, I actually got to meet Katherine Roberts, mm-hmm. and she wishes you all the best and gives you a big hug.
Thank you.
She loves this girl. Mm-hmm. And so she knows that she's, one of the best, legionnaires, we call them, or centurions for her product, obviously. And so I recorded her whole session, and I'm going to put this at the tail end of this session here. So after our little workout, then you'll see Katherine Roberts on stage, and she actually got 4 guinea pigs from the audience.
Nice.
I wasn't going to go up there. I was in a suit. I was going to split my pants, right? So she had a lot of fun with 4 students out there that did it for the first time, and it was really good. She did a really great job.
Wonderful.
So you'll enjoy that.
Good. So I'm glad that we have a little bonus at the end.
That's it.
Good.
Little bonus view. Okay.
All right. So why don't we get started?
Okay.
First, I thought it'd be helpful for your viewers to determine, do I have C posture or not?
Okay.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is take your address side view at the camera.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to take the club. So let's see if you can step that.
Okay.
And just take a moment here. Good. And if I put a club in the back of your spine, right from the back of your head, okay, you can see that my club is kind of wobbling up and down, right? Okay, so release your address. And then if I do it, I'm going to take my address. Okay, so the club is in the back of my head, alongside my spine. I'm going to hinge at my hips, and then the club stays alongside my spine, right?
Oh.
I actually have more of an S posture, but that's another session.
Okay.
Okay, so if I had a C posture, my club would not be able to stay straight alongside my spine.
Gotcha.
So that's an easy way for people to determine, do I have C posture or not, or just look in the mirror, right? And see if this is happening. Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly it's when you film yourself and you're unaware of what's going on, because if you put yourself in the mirror, you'll tend to stand up straighter, right?
That's
so
right.
I figure, okay, but when I'm unaware and I see what's going on, then I can really identify.
Exactly.
So
all right.
we need to work on it.
So facing the camera, we have a lot on our plates today. So I want you to take a moment to get comfortable in your standing posture.
Okay.
And then from here, we'll do our cactus shape arms. So bending the elbows at 90 degrees, just warming up at this point. Okay.
I'd like to be in Arizona right now.
Yes, wouldn't that be nice? So from here, I want you to bring your arms back. So squeezing a little bit back. You may feel a little bit of a stretch in the chest, right? And then bring everything forward, squeezing your forearms together. We're warming up. So inhale, open up. Exhale, close it back down. Good. Inhale, open up. And I want you to bring your focus really to the muscles in the back, specifically the rhomboids, right? And at the same time, the benefit of this move is that we're also warming up the shoulders. Nice inhalation, open up. Exhale, squeeze as if there's a balloon between your arms and you want to just wake up a little bit the muscles in the chest. Beautiful. 3 more reps. Staying focused on the purpose here. Very nice. One more time. One last time. Good. From here, release your arms down. You're feeling a little bit the work of the muscles?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Same thing now. So cactus shape heart once again. But this time, I want you to pretend you have a wall behind you and you're sliding your arms, hands going on top of your head, meeting each other. And then you're releasing back to cactus shape heart. Good.
That's where I feel like, yeah, I could really use more strength because just doing that exercise is a workout.
So now you're going to come back. So what you're going to do is going to keep your elbows bent, and what you're doing is this. Do you feel the difference?
Yeah.
As opposed to extending the arms,
right?
Right? What I'm asking you to do is just aim at bringing this here.
Okay, gotcha.
And I don't know if you notice, but your head wants to move forward when you do that. So we're going to try to relax the muscles right here as you do that movement. Good. Again, warming up shoulders, upper back. And this is a very challenging move, so don't feel that if you can't reach above the head with the hands that it is. 3 more. Good, and one last time. And release. Release your arm. Shake the arms a little bit. Roll the shoulders. You're feeling that, eh?
Very much, yeah.
Beautiful. All right, so now it's time to build strength in the muscles a little bit in the back. So there's different ways of doing it.
I thought I was just doing that.
Well, you were warming up at the same time. Imagine, right? Your warm-up is building strength, which is great. So I'm going to ask you to hold your club this way.
Okay.
With your arms, okay? And then relaxing the shoulders a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring your navel towards your spine, so we're supporting our core.
Yeah.
Okay. Then as you inhale, I want you to visualize keeping your arms straight that you're pushing your club away. So you're building a lot of space here, yes. Exhale, bring it back. Keep your arms straight. So squeeze the rhomboids here. Inhale, push back, push forward.
Inhale.
Yes.
Okay.
Exhale, use the rhomboids, muscles in the back, bring it back. Good. Now continue at your own rhythm for 8 more reps. And see if you can really limit the movement in your cervical spine, your head, so you minimize the movement, but so you can focus the efforts on the muscles that need to build strength in your back. Yeah, better.
Wow.
Yes. 3 more. Again, what we're trying to do here is counteracting C posture by building strength in the muscles in the back. How about 1 more?
Only because you asked.
And release in a very... and roll.
Wow.
Okay. Okay, so just based on your reaction now, I would actually prescribe 2 or 3 sets of 10, but we're actually going to stop it here because we have a lot more things to cover. Yeah. And because of the effort it took to do that, I would say let's do 1 set today.
Yeah.
But think of maybe doing 2 or 3 eventually in future session. Okay? So we need to limit this movement of your head, right? Really focus on smaller movement, but really more focus on the rhomboids.
Okay,
gotcha. All right, wonderful. Now you're going to get on all 4s, hands and knees.
Hands and knees.
Yes. Good. Then bring your knees back, find your half plank. So your core is going to be supporting you, feet on the floor. Yes, good. And then keeping your elbows hugging the sides of your body, I'd like you to lower all the way down. Good. We're going to warm up with our Cobra here a little bit. So I want you to take a nice breath in, lifting only shoulders and chest off the mat, keeping your rib cage on the mat. Yep. Exhale down. Press the floor away. Come back to your half plank. Exhale. Good. Go to your child's pose, hips over your heels. Beautiful. Yeah, we're going to flow like that for a few times just so you can warm up the body a little bit before we stay static in our Cobra.
Yeah.
Okay. So inhale back to your half plank. Nice inhalation here. Exhale, lower all the way down. Good. Inhale up into your Cobra. So shoulders and chest curl. Exhale down, press the floor away at the same exhalation, go to your child's pose. Very nice. Next inhalation, come on forward, half plank. Exhale down. Inhale, Cobra, very small one, good. Exhale down, press the floor away on that same exhalation, child's pose. Hips over your heels. 2 more. Nice inhalation, half plank. Let the core support you. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale down, press the floor away, child's pose. And one last one. So we're just looking at how the body's feeling today as we're building heat and loosening up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale down. Press up and child's pose. Very good. So stay in your child's pose just for a couple of breaths here. See if you can relax the shoulders a little bit. Yeah, here you go. Feeling good?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so let's come back to your table. Half plank.
Half plank.
Yes, all the way down. So now we're going to work on our Cobra. Beautiful. I want you to come and bring your hands in your lower back. Yep, on top of each other. Let your chin or your forehead be on the mat for a moment. I want you to keep your feet and your legs on the mat, okay? So your feet are not gonna lift up. And I want the bottom of your rib cage to stay on the mat. Bring your navel towards your spine to support your core. And then inhale, curl up. So shoulders, chest, and breathe here. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the hands away out of the equation. And by keeping the rib cage down, you're hopefully not soliciting your lumbar, right? Take another nice breath in. Exhale, release all the way down.
So you want to feel it more in the upper back here?
Yes, that's what we're working on.
Okay.
Now I want you to feel the feeling that you're really curling up like a cobra does, right? So on your next inhalation, curl up. Bottom of the rib cage down, beautiful, and breathe. And keep your head just nice and neutral so you're not putting strain in the cervical spine. One more breath, and release all the way down. Good. Now this time, you're gonna come up once again. So inhale, legs are active. Remember, back bends, legs are part of the show. Bring your hands right under your shoulders, staying up in your Cobra. Good. Breathe. Visualize your rhomboids here working real hard for you. One more breath. And exhale all the way down. Beautiful. Bring your hands right under your forehead.
On your forehead?
Yes, so you can rest a little bit before we do another set. So you may want to sway your hips a little bit side to side if you want, just to relax. And then from here, when you're ready, you're going to come and bring your hands on your lower back once again. And I'm doing that so we don't have the temptation of using the hands, the arms, the shoulders to lift ourselves up, right? Good. So again, bottom of the rib cage stays on the mat. Engagement in the core a tiny bit. When you're ready, inhale up. curling up. Good. Keeping the back of your neck nice.
Should I be
and
squeezing my shoulders?
I would say no initially, once
Okay.
because I don't want that to be the force that brings you up,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And once you're there, if you want to maximize a little bit the squeezing and the effort in the muscles, yes, but don't use the elbows to bring you there, in other words.
Right.
Yeah.
Use the middle back, the rhomboid.
That's right.
Okay.
So don't forget to breathe.
Thank you.
2 more breaths. Good. And 1 more breath. Exhale all the way down. Hands are going to come right under your shoulders. So see if you can bring, yes, that's it. Then let the elbows hug the sides of your body. Release the shoulders down a little bit. And then come on up in Cobra without using your hands. Good. One more breath. Exhale all the way down. Good. From here, press the floor away. Come to your half plank, then child's pose, so we can counteract a little bit the back bend we just did.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Oh, that feels good.
All right. Good. So why don't we use this to stretch at the same time your lats? So come into your active child's pose where you're on top of your fingertips, a little bit wider stance in your hands. Yeah. Then hips towards your heels. Nice exhalation here. As you inhale, feel a little bit of buoyancy bringing you forward a tiny bit. Yeah. And as you exhale, stretch back. 3 more breaths that way. Nice inhalation, feeling the breath between the shoulder blades if you can. It's the area that we've worked, so send that breath all the way there. Nice breath in, expanding the rib cage, and exhale. Very good. Come on back to your table position, so on your hands and knees. From here, I'd like you to come and bring your forearms on the floor. Okay. Hands touching each other, palms of the hands together.
Okay.
So elbows together, palms of the hands together.
Okay.
That's right.
I thought I was there.
You're probably more visuals today. Who knows, right?
Yes, that was a good visual.
Yes. And from here, bring your hips towards your heels. Yeah, let your forearms follow you though. So you want to go hips towards your heels first, as if you're going to your child's pose.
Yeah.
But slide your arms towards your knees.
Oh.
Yep. Yep. Just getting into position before we actually start the movement. So I want your elbows, these things, right under your shoulders. Here you go. Beautiful.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah. So now what we're doing is simply getting you into nice, stable position. I want you to come and bring the back of your right hand on your lower back. Here you go. Good. So now what I'd like you to visualize is that you're going to inhale and open up a little bit. Here you go. And exhale down. Good. 4 more reps. Very nice, Shawn. Good. So in general, the tendency here is to lean towards the left so the movement is bigger, but you're keeping a beautiful form here. Your lumbar spine is stable. You're not cheating on leaning to the left.
I have no idea what this looks like.
It's,
and that's what's.
Do you want me to film you?
No, I'm sure I'll see it.
That's right.
I'll review this.
I could film you from up above. Nice inhalation, open up. Good. Just working on isolating the movement in the upper back, right? Without using the scapula, which is by having your hand here, you're not really able to use that scapula. Very nice. And one last one. And exhale, release. Bring your right hand back where it was before, and then we'll do the other side. So this movement can be frustrating for some people because the movement is not big, right?
Right.
And that's not a problem. What we're looking for is stability in the posture, and where is the movement originating from? See if you can do the same thing, but keep your head looking at your hand for a moment. Different?
I was just about to ask you that.
Here you go. Yeah. So I'd rather at this point keep your head centered so you're not tempted to use the...
I feel more in the back now.
That's right, exactly. So let's do 3 more here. Come back, make sure you come back to your neutral, yes. And 2 more. Very nice. And then release your left arm down. So just to review, avoid using the head and the neck for the movement and the shoulder. So on this side, for some reason, you were using more the shoulder. But you were going farther.
I was,
Right? Okay. Good. Come back to your all fours, so hands and knees. And here we'll revisit something we've already done together. Okay. So I want you to, why don't you walk forward on your mat so you're entirely on the mat. Okay. Good. And then from here, bring your right hand behind your head.
Okay.
Okay. And because I know that you're ready for that, I want you to extend your left leg out. Yes. And then slowly lift your leg up. Bring your navel towards your spine. Yeah. Keeping this nice foundation. Inhale, open up the right side up, yeah. Exhale, elbow towards your wrist.
Face down?
Yes. Exhale, bring your elbow towards your wrist. So you come on back down. Yes, here you go. Inhale, open up. Exhale. 3 more. Exhale. Good. So keep that back leg really strong and active, working for you on your balance.
Feels like I'm about to kill something with my elbow. It's good.
Yeah. Good. And really bring your focus onto what we're trying to achieve here, right? So building strength in back body. But at the same time, we're also working on balance and focus here. Good. One last one. And exhale. And bring your hand back down, your knee back down. Take a moment to pause here. Good.
That was good. Mm-hmm. Good workout.
Excellent. Well, it's been a while, I hear.
Yes.
Right.
So last week was not a good week.
You were just a little busy.
we did a lot of walking at that show, 1 million square feet.
Yes. All right. So from here, left hand behind your head. Extend your right leg. Take a moment to stabilize. If you can lift that right leg up just a little bit, good, beautiful. When you're ready, nice inhalation, open. And exhale, elbow towards your wrist. Inhale. Exhale. And really pay attention as you move through postures. Which muscles are you soliciting, right? Are we trying to compensate for a region that may be a little weaker with other muscles? Right now, you're definitely multitasking, so most of the muscles in your body are active. Specifically,
I'm on task right now.
You are, and you're doing a great job. And I'll ask you to do 3 more. And one last one. Very good. Bring your hand back down, your knee back down. Good job. So from here, you're going to curl your toes under, slowly transitioning to a standing position.
Okay.
Slowly, right?
Yes.
So lift your knees.
Slowly, everybody.
That's right.
Don't keel over, please.
Lift your knees off the mat. Bring your elbows onto your knees. Nice, long, straight spine, looking ahead. Take a moment to let the blood do its thing. Blood pressure.
Hi, Chantal.
Hi. And then hover your elbows over your knees and slowly come on up, keeping your back nice and straight. Beautiful. Feeling a little bit taller?
Taller?
Straighter?
A little lightheaded.
Oh, okay. So take a moment.
So, yeah. It's a good thing we went slowly.
Yes. So we're going to end with a power move. Okay.
Power move.
Which we've already done together.
Okay.
And I'm putting it there because it helps the muscles in the back.
I like to see a little repetition too,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Well, I like to
just-
see a little familiarity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so I want you to stand in your mountain nice and comfortable. Feet are parallel together if you can, as opposed to, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, beautiful.
Wisdom on the mountain.
That's right. That's right. I love it. Then I want you to lift your arms up. Palms facing each other.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. Okay. You know what? Bring your feet a little closer to one another. Just a tiny bit. Good. Beautiful. Keeping our arms reaching and our arms by the side of our ears, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to hinge at the hips and sit in that imaginary chair.
Yeah, oh, I remember this one.
Yes. Good.
It's a good thing I didn't do any extra reps with the other stuff you gave me.
That's right. There was a method to my madness.
Yes.
I kind
Isn't
of,
this more reps to that anyway?
I kind of conserved your energy for that. So I want you to take a nice breath here. And as you exhale, press the floor away and come all the way back up. Keeping your arms extended, take a nice breath here. And exhale, go back, hinge back, back to your chair. Good. Bring your awareness to the muscles in your back.
Oh, they're there.
Good. And just notice, is there one area of the body that is doing all the work? Are you able to?
Upper back.
Upper back, okay.
Yeah, shoulders, upper back,
Okay.
absolutely.
Good. Another nice breath here. And exhale, press the floor away. Come on up. Things come in threes, so we need to do it one last time. Okay. Take a nice breath. Release.
Un momento.
En un momento, por favor.
Okay.
Roll the shoulders.
Yes.
And let's do that one more time. Okay.
This is good. I like this one a lot.
Wonderful. Good. And exhale into your chair. Very nice. So nice hinging at the hips, which is wonderful. So at home, keep in mind that we need that hinging of the hips because the tendency sometimes is going to be wanting to round the back, and the back and the shoulders are going to bring you into the movement. Really, what's bringing you is the hinging in the hips.
Yes.
And the shoulders are just following. Can you give me 3 more breaths here? And remember, you're the boss of your body, right? So if 3 more breaths is not possible, you release.
I can do 3 quick ones then.
That's right. Rush through the breath. One last one. Exhale, press the floor away and release down. Oh, very nice. Let's do shoulder rolls. Okay. And because you've
I'm
worked...
sweating.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good.
And because you've worked really hard, I'm going to offer you a beautiful restorative pose that's going to help stretch the muscles in the chest.
Okay.
Okay, so at home, if you don't have a bolster, this is a yoga bolster that we use in different classes. You could use a pillow, you could roll up a beach towel.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'll ask you to do is to sit facing this way.
Okay.
Okay, with your feet on the floor to start with.
Yep.
And you're going to slowly roll all the way back down. So I'm putting the edge of the bolster right about where the area we were working at, right?
Oh, this is nice.
Okay, so in your case, I would actually put a towel under your head.
Yeah.
Right, so let's see if I can do this. Is this going to be comfortable? Is this going to want to stay there?
Yeah, not really.
Not really. So I would roll up a towel so you tuck your chin under.
Okay.
Tuck your chin under a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So your head is not so back.
Okay.
Okay. Want your arms nice and relaxed on the side on the floor, yeah. And then option to extend your legs out or to stay exactly the way you are.
This is good.
Okay. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to let your eyes rest into their sockets. Sometimes when our mind is busy, our eyes get busy. Mm-hmm. And then let your jaw relax, so maybe part your lips a little bit. Then from here, take a nice deep breath in, sigh it out through your mouth. We're going to do that 3 more times. A nice deep breath in. Long sigh out. Another nice deep breath. And sigh it out. And just take a moment here to feel the shoulders resting onto the bolster, but also the chest being, well, not the actual chest, but the muscles on the chest stretching.
Yeah. Maybe I should sleep like this at night.
Yes.
It's actually very comfortable, and I can see the benefits of this.
So if you do this at home, remember to lift your head up a little bit,
Yeah.
right? So your chin is not so way high.
Okay.
And
I should do my emails from here.
that's right. That's right. And restorative poses, you could hold this for 5-10 minutes as long as you're, you feel you're able to hold if you have the time.
Yeah.
And then it's also good to...
We'll spare you guys.
That's right.
I'll come back to it.
That's right. It's also good to release a little bit the nervous system and allow the body to rest after a good workout. All right.
I like this a lot. Yeah, good.
So to safely roll out, you're going to roll onto your left side.
Yeah. And where do you find one of these bolsters?
You email me, info@foryoga.ca.
Yeah.
These one in particular I love because they're not so rigid and big.
Yeah.
So if you email me at info@foryoga.ca, I will hook you up.
She'll hook us up.
Yes.
All right.
Roll, use your hands to press the floor away. Get up slowly.
Again.
Take your time.
Yeah, I figure when the lightheadedness is gone, we're safe to slowly come up.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
There we go. Don't go up until you're not lightheaded anymore.
Exactly. Specifically if you've been working hard and from a relaxation pose as well, because we brought everything down, and then if you get up too fast, then...
Very good.
Yeah, so hopefully we've helped you stand a little straighter.
That was awesome, Chantal.
Great.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
All right. Stay tuned. Coming up, Katherine Roberts.
Yay. I'm looking forward to that. Bye-bye.
All the best.
Business model over 16 years ago, she told me. I can't believe it's been that long. She doesn't even seem that old. And she has crossed many domains into the world of baseball, many different venues on how to apply her techniques to golfers. And today we're going to have an interactive approach on how she treats golfers and trains golfers with yoga, as well as breathing techniques. And I think this is a really, really important one, and she's going to give us a lot of insight into different athletics and different movement patterns. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up to stage Katherine Roberts, Yoga for Golfers.
He wanted to say namaste, but they turned the mic off too soon. All right, you guys, well, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you to TPI for putting this together again. Is the sound okay? Is the sound okay? Yeah. So it's really an honor to be here. I can't believe it. This is like my 16th PGA show. Who's been here more than 20 years? There you go. Okay. So what I want to talk about today, well, let me see a show of hands of people that practice yoga. Okay. Who in the room wants to practice yoga? Who in the room wants to play better golf? There you go. Okay. I should just tell you too that I'm a golfer. I've been playing golf my whole life, so I didn't just kind of make this up. And so I understand everyone's plight, but I also understand your joy and passion for the game because I have it as well. What I wanted to focus on today was really kind of 2 topics. The first one is breathing. And I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this because it is so critical for peak performance in golf as well as baseball. Lance just touched on that, I started yoga for golfers 16 years ago. I've also been teaching yoga in Major League Baseball for 14 years, and I work for 8 MLB organizations. One of them, which happens to be the Cubs, so we had a pretty good year this year. But some of the things I'm going to share with you that I do in baseball is also what I do with my golfers. And let me ask you, who in here knows when they breathe in their swing? When do you breathe in your swing? Inhale, backswing. Exhale through impact. Okay. Anybody hold their breath when they play? There you go. That's typically what happens. And one of the reasons why breathing is so critical for golf is the first thing is that it is the way that you can instantly reset your mind. Okay. So even if you've had a bad shot or a great shot, and you need to bring your mind back into center, the fastest way to do that is with what we call a long, slow, deep diaphragmatic breath. And that's not like big exhale out of the mouth. It's a long, slow, deep breath in and out through the nose, okay? The other thing is that if you have a body that is very tense when you're getting ready to swing, it makes it much more difficult to obviously what we call eccentrically load the muscles. The muscles have to be loose so that they can stretch and load, so that you can concentrically explode them with power. And if your body's tight, if you're standing over the ball and you're like this, you can't turn, right? But if you're relaxed, then you can turn, and then you can load more efficiently. So there's that physical, and then there's the mental. The other thing is that it can also help you get, as I said, very focused. So how many, in a 4.5-hour round, how many minutes of golf do you think you're actually playing? Anybody know? About 14 minutes. Unless you're playing speed golf with my friend, but so if you think about that, where does your mind go during all that time? The other thing is, the golf swing happens in under 2-second period of time. So how do you take your energy, your focus from out here and boom, zoom it right into that shot, that one thing that's in front of you? So I've done a lot of work with Hank Haney. In 2009, Hank and I wrote a book together called Swing Faults and Fitness Fixes, and I do his show on Sirius quite a bit. One of the things Hank was just talking about was, of course, he was talking about Tiger. And what he said was that Tiger has this very keen ability to understand the concept of acceptance, okay? Now, acceptance in our world, in our context, means that you never, ever think about the last shot, right? So the pattern that we use, and I use this in baseball, is that you take a breath, you set your intention, you decide what shot you're gonna hit, okay? Then you execute the shot. In baseball, it's you throw the pitch, then you take a breath, then you accept, and then you start the whole cycle over again. Okay, does that make sense, right? So you gotta breathe, focus, decision, commitment, execution, breath, acceptance. And if you think about that cycle, what that does is that keeps you from, anybody had a 3-putt and walked to the next tee box like this, like with your head down, like all angry? Okay? I'm not saying that you shouldn't care, but you shouldn't hang on to it. So what Hank said, and I was gonna write this down, he said, Tiger, and he said this 3 times, never, never, never thinks about the last shot. Okay? And how you do that, again, is with the breath. So long, slow, deep diaphragmatic breath. So I'm gonna have you guys do this. Just sit on the edge of your chair. All right? What I want you to do is I want you to take your fingertips and place them on your rib cage. And if you hit the guy next to you, just take them out. Okay? All right? We're friends here. We're all golfers. It's a PGA show. All right? So what I want you to do is, when you take an inhale, I want you to feel movement under your rib cage, not in your shoulders, not like this, right? I want you to take an inhale and feel movement in your rib cage. So it's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale for 4, feel movement under your rib cage, 3, 2, 1. Now when you exhale, feel that movement, but drop your traps down. So exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, do it one more time. Ready? Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale, let the traps drop down. Feel the rib cage drop down, okay? Now, you can sit back for a moment. Now, how do you incorporate that into golf? What you do is, because you've been practicing yoga for golfers, so you now have this breathing awareness. But what you do when you play golf is you set your address position, you take a long, slow, deep inhale, and when you exhale, you feel your traps drop down and relax. So I work hand in hand with golf pros every day, doing clinics, golf schools, all over the world. And even especially in putting, when we teach our golfers to do that in putting, you'd be really surprised how the putting stroke is much more even and much more fluid, okay? So just start out with your putting, and then, by the way, don't do this if you're gonna play in like the senior championship like that morning, okay? Practice this, okay? Any questions on breathing before we move into some movement? Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah? And so the more you practice yoga for golfers, the more you'll have that, that breathing awareness, all right? So the next thing I want want to talk about is our methodology is what we call tri-plane movements. All of our yoga poses are based in golf biomechanics, okay? They are all taught in building blocks, so it's open for everyone. So those of you that have never done yoga are like, well, you know, she's gonna have me put my leg behind my head. I've never had a golfer or an MLB player put their leg behind their head. I know you guys are, I can see the guy over there is relieved that he doesn't have to do that now, okay? It's all based in biomechanics. So part of that foundation is if you look at the golf swing, it happens in 3 planes of motion. So the 3 planes of motion are, this is called the sagittal plane, okay, where you go into flexion or extension, okay? Then there's the frontal plane, which is abduction or adduction. Anytime you move to the side, you laterally bend. And then there's the transverse plane, which is rotation, okay? Now, think about the golf swing. Flexion, lateral bending, transverse plane motion. Sagittal, frontal, transverse. Guess what's the worst thing you can do for your low back? That. That. Which is why 63% of golfers have low back issues. I was just talking to the gentleman here this morning and I said, I sometimes get stopped in an airport and somebody will say like, oh, Katherine Roberts, I know you're from the Golf Channel. I have a pain in my back right here. And I'm usually like, can I just have my coffee first and then we'll talk about it? But the truth is that we have to work our body in a way that can help us perform better, okay? Now the other thing is in addition to yoga, I have a degree in chain reaction biomechanics. And that means that I look at the body in 4 ways. One is the 3 planes of motion, and what happens below affects above, and what happens above affects below. So if you've got a lot of low back, anybody in here ever have low back pain when they play golf? Yeah, if you don't raise your hand, I know you're lying. Okay? Okay. Even what I do, sometimes my back hurts me when I play, right? So if you've got low back issues, what you want to do is you want to look at your hips and your thoracic spine, not necessarily just your back, because the body is a chain reaction. Walking is a chain reaction. Think about this, you know, my heel strikes, there's a chain reaction all the way up. I have to be able to propel this way. So actually, when I'm working with my golfers and my MLB players, the first thing I do to assess them is gait. All I do is watch them walk. I can have you come up here and watch you walk, and I can probably tell you what's going on in your golf swing. Right? Because as you walk is as you swing. Is as your body generates power in the kinematic sequence, that's how you swing. Okay? So it's all connected. Right? So I want to take you guys, let me see. Who can I pick to come up here? You know what? Let's pick a couple people. Okay, we're going to do a little yoga for golfers right here. Does that sound good? Okay, who has a burning desire to come up here right now? Oh my God, come on. Okay, come on up. That's great, come on. We need 2 more. 2 more. Come on, hon. There you go. Anybody else? Anybody else? That's not a step, by the way. Come on up. Awesome. Jerry, can we have a couple towels? Okay. All right. Cooper. Catherine. Daryl, nice to meet you. Have a towel. Chip, nice to meet you. Darcy, nice to meet you. Okay, you guys are going to need a towel. Because what I'm going to do is I want to take you through just a couple sequences. By the way, on our website, we have so much content that you guys can access right away, and I really encourage you to go there and look at it, all right? So let's do this. I'll get in the middle. All right. There, oh, he's already stepping further away. All right, here we go. I'm going to show you guys the stretch. To me, this is one of my favorite stretches for golf, okay? I'm going to have you guys come to the ground. Yeah, you're going to come to your ground like this, on your knees. Okay. Now, we have these great amino vital towels, so I want you to put them under your right knee. By the way, did you guys sign the disclaimer? Yes. Okay. All right. So, we're going to start out with a sagittal plane motion for the hips. Then we're going to add a frontal plane motion for the lats, the big turning muscles of your back. And then we're going to add a transverse plane motion. Okay? So it's all going to build upon each other. You guys are all healthy, right? Did you sign the disclaimer? Okay, right on. All right, here we go. So, step your left foot forward. Okay, now, I want you to pull your navel in towards your spine, okay? In yoga, this is your power center. In all martial arts, this is your power center right here. So you need to make sure that this part is drawn in and lifting up. Can you guys feel the difference there when you do that? Okay, now I want you to just drive your hips back and forth like this. Good. Now I want your knee to come over your toes, because when you're in a dress, your knee needs to come over your toes, right? Okay, good. So inhale back, right. So let's come down. Inhale down, exhale back. Good. Last two. Inhale down, exhale back. Good. Now pause there, come low, pull your belly in, posture straight up. Posture is the foundation of your swing. If you have poor posture, you're already going to be challenged, okay? You guys smiling? Okay, here we go. So now bring your right arm out like this. Okay, and I want you to inhale, and I want you to bend over to the left. And then exhale, come back. Good. Inhale, bend left. Exhale back. Keep going. Now, stay here. I'm going to stand behind Cooper because I know him and we're lifelong friends. We just met 2 seconds ago. What I don't want you to do is sway and slide your hips. So keep going. Inhale one direction, exhale back. You guys don't want to sway or slide in your swing, right? So you got to practice in a way that will help support that. Good. Now stay down there. Okay. Bring your right arm up. Okay. Now lower body is stable. Coiling your upper body over your lower body. That's the golf swing. Okay. So I want you to inhale and rotate right, and then exhale back to center. Good. Inhale, rotate right. Good. Exhale back to center. Good. One more time. Inhale, rotate right. Good. Exhale back to center. Okay, you guys, very good. Now, I'm going to have you come down to your knees again. So that's just one progression. These guys are going to be off balance all day because we're only going to do one side. When you see them walking around later with a beer and they're like this, you'll know why. Okay? So now let's do this. Everybody's knees okay? Everybody's knees okay? Okay. We'll see how this goes. All right. So come to your hands and knees. Okay, now bring your right knee so it touches your right wrist. And then bring your right foot up. Now slide your left leg back. Pigeon pose. There you go. Now, this is really good. Now, I want you to take your hips side to side. So everything we do, you should not do static stretching when you're getting ready to play. Everything you move should be dynamic. Okay, so everything I'm showing you can be done dynamically or statically. Good. So right now, we're getting sagittal plane motion because we're getting hip extension. Okay. And now we're getting a stretch through the glutes. Okay. You good? You guys still breathing? Barely. Okay. Now, come to your left elbow. Can you do that, hon? There you go. Now, what I want you to do is take an inhale and twist to the right. Bring your right arm up. Yes. Exhale, tap the ground with your right hand. Good. Inhale, open. Exhale, tap the ground. Good. Inhale, open. One more time. Exhale, tap the ground. Very good. Come on up. Okay. Lie on your back, kids. Okay, lie on your back. So I'm going to have you do this. Don't face them. Yeah, let's have you face that way. Okay, take your towel and you're going to put it around your right leg. By the way, I'm going down to the Golf Channel on Saturday to shoot a whole new series of tips for the morning drive. This is going to be one of the tips on there, so you guys you should still tune in. All right. So yeah, you're going to take the towel and put it around your right leg. The towel, put it around your right leg. Your right foot, I mean. Put it around your right foot. And then lie on your back. Right, in the middle of your foot. Good, okay. And now you're going to lift your right leg straight up and your left leg out. Now hold the strap only in your right, the towel only in your right hand. Okay, good. Now let your head relax. Okay. So, I call this is one of the best stretches for golf. If you only have 5 minutes, this is one of the best stretches that you can do, okay? Now, it can be done dynamically or statically. It's great post-round, but if you want to do it dynamically before you go out to play, this is great. So, I want you to flex your toes back towards you. Are you still breathing? Barely. Okay, keep breathing, okay? So now, we've got the sagittal plane motion here, okay? And now we're going to go into some frontal plane motion. I'm going to have them take their right leg out to the right. But you got to keep your left hip down. So I'm just going to stand on Cooper's hip. Is that a good idea? Yeah? And you got to flex through your feet. Now, For more hip extension, by the way, this is for you, my friend. This is a stretch for your back. Anybody with a low back issue, this is the yoga pose sequence for you, okay? Now, I want you to flex your left foot, and I want you to drive your left leg way to the front of the stage. Yes, do you feel that more in your hip? Good. Okay, now let's get into a little bit more rotation. This next portion of this segment, this sequence is great because it also can help stretch the lumbar and it gets the shoulders to separate from the hips. So now put your left hand on the toe and have a big stretch over to the left. But you gotta keep your right shoulder down, right? Okay, don't go too far, buddy. Good, take a couple breaths, okay? Good. All right, come on up. How you doing? Okay, can you guys come to standing now? We're gonna do a couple more. Do you guys want to switch out? Does somebody else really have a burning desire to come up here? Because we can switch these guys out. You're good? Come on, who really wants to come up here? Okay. All right, we'll keep you guys. You're so good. All right, so let's do this. We're gonna face the audience. Take your feet wide, you don't need your towel. Okay? She's doing this in her heels. By the way, I do not recommend you do yoga in your heels. Okay. Now, turn your right foot out and your left foot in. Now, your stance should be about one leg length apart, okay? But what I'm trying to do here is just give you some ideas of some of our methodologies and how they can benefit you. There's about 30,000 different poses that you can do and sequences that you can put together. Most of them are on the website, okay? Now, I want to take a moment and talk about gravity and ground reaction forces. You guys good? Okay. Actually, I'm going to change my mind. Come back up, bring your feet to hip width apart. Okay. Gravity and ground reaction forces. Every great athlete understands how to use the force of gravity and create ground reaction forces. Every great athlete. My baseball players, all the golfers, right? You see, think about like, if they talk about like Rory's swing, right? It looks like he's squatting down, right? All that is generating power, pushing against gravity. So this next sequence, whenever I do a golf school, I always do this before we start hitting balls, and it's mind-blowing, right? So take your feet about hip width apart. Your feet are too wide. Your hips aren't that wide. Okay, and you can just take your hands on your hips, okay? Now what I want you to do is just take a moment. It's just a waggle, right? It's just like a little waggle. And I want you to start to feel your feet. Do you guys want to stand up and try this? Come on, stand up and try this. We're going to do all this together. By the way, I'm watching you. Okay? All right, so a little bit of a waggle. And I want you to really feel your feet. Put a little bend in your knees for a second, okay? Now, for a moment, I want you to imagine what the ground looks like 12 inches below your feet, okay? It's probably a lot of cement and stuff like that, some wiring, okay? Now, bend your knees, and I want you to sit way back like you're sitting in a chair. So watch my knees. Not forward like this, booty back. Booty back. Okay? Good. Now, before you stand up, I want you to drag your feet apart, but don't move them. So pull your feet apart, but don't move them, like you're trying to split the carpet. Okay, can you guys feel that in your legs now? Okay, now, 12 inches below your feet. Okay, I want you to imagine that. Now take a big breath in, and when you exhale, I want you to drive your lower body into the ground and drag your feet apart. Go real slow. Good, now pause there, don't move. Don't breathe, don't move, no breathe. Okay, stand up, hon. There you go. Okay, now, 2 feet below your feet. Visualize that, all right? Sit down really low. Booty back. That's yoga for booty back. Okay, sit low. Sit low. Up and down just a little bit. Now drag your feet apart. I mean, pull them apart, but don't move them. Okay? Now take a breath in, and when you exhale, I want you to drive your whole lower body into the ground, 2 feet into the ground, and keep pulling your feet apart. Okay, don't move. Can you guys feel that in your legs? Don't move yet. We're gonna go 3 feet under. I promise we won't go 6 feet under, okay? All right, here we go. Now, sit back, way back. Almost like you want to get your butt to touch the chair. That's why this is called chair pose, okay? Now drag your feet apart and breathe. Keep breathing. Eyes up. Take your hands to your wrist. Breathe. Breathe. 3 feet under. And when you stand up, you're going to drive your lower body into the ground. I mean, push it into the ground and come up slow. Good. Do you think I can push him over? No. Okay. Take a few steps. Don't sit down yet. Shake out your legs. Now what I want you to do is come into your address position. Come into your address position. Feel like pretend you're going to hit the ball. Okay? Okay? Can you feel that connection to the ground now? This is what you want to feel every time you go to hit the ball, right? You don't want to be coming up out of your shoes. You want to be grounded so you can use gravity and ground reaction force. Just this 3 chair, all we did was 3 chair poses, okay? It's also really good if you get to the course 5 minutes before you're going to tee off. I'm sure nobody ever does that, right? Putting your shoes on as you run to like the practice tee, the first tee. Okay, let's do one more sequence. Any questions so far? No? Okay, legs are wide. Oh yeah, you guys are all joining in. I thought you might sit down. Nice. Take your legs really, you're gonna need to spread out. You guys can stagger yourselves. You're gonna need to spread out. Okay? So now, turn your right foot out and your left foot in. Right foot out, left foot in. This is where everyone goes, okay, my right foot out, and my left foot in. Then I go, no, it's the other right foot. Okay, now, low belly, pull it in, stabilize your core. Your posture is going to stay stacked and upright, right? So as you inhale, I want you to drive your hips to the right, and then come back. Good, couple more. So drive your hips. Walk your right foot forward, woman. There you go, good. Drive your hips. Good. Nice. Let's go one more. Drive your hips. Okay, now, this is where the fun part happens. Bring your elbow against your knee.
You're good,
and I want you to push your right knee right. Move it out. But now lift in your left arch. Okay? Now we're going to take an inhale and rotate. Open up the left arm. Let's do it together. We should all say TPI. Okay, inhale here. Exhale, I want you to rotate and tap the ground. Good. Inhale, open, rotate, open up, open up. Exhale, tap the ground. Good, let's go 2 more, you guys. Inhale, rotate, open, push your right knee right, and breathe. Exhale, tap the ground. One more time. Inhale, open, rotate right. Now hold there. Hold there. Now, take your left arm over your head. Okay? Now let me just say this. Can anybody in here use 20 more yards? I was going to say, raise your arm if you could use 20 more yards. Okay? Now I want you to stretch 20% more. And I want you to breathe 20% more deeply. Okay, look down at the ground, stand up. Woo! Okay, let's switch sides. It would be okay if these 4 guys were walking around in balance. I don't want all of you walking around in balance. Yeah, right? There you go. All right, left foot out, right foot in. Okay? Now, before we start bending the knee, what I'd like you to do is I want you to feel like you're pulling the power up from the ground up to your legs. Right? And then exhale, push it back into the ground. Okay, inhale, pull the power up. Exhale, push the power back down. Make your legs longer. There you go. Good. Here we go. So start to drive into your left hip. Keep going. While you're doing that, I want to show you something. Keep going. Go back and forth. If you start to drive your knee and your knee's coming in like this, you know what that means? Your hip is tight. So I need your knee to be tracking straight. Okay, good. Go one more. Come really low. Okay, bring your elbow to your knee. Push your left knee left. Okay? Ready? We're going to do this together. You're either going to do it or you're going to have to get out of the shot. Okay. Here we go. Take an inhale, rotate open. Good. Exhale, tap the ground.
You're fine.
Good. Inhale, rotate open. Exhale, tap the ground. Let's go 2 more. Nice job. Inhale, rotate open. Put your left knee left. Left knee left. Exhale, tap the ground. Last time. Inhale, rotate open. Good. Hold there. Now extend your right arm over your head. All right. If you want 30 more yards, then breathe 30% more deeply and stretch 30% more. Keep breathing. Good. Look down towards the ground. Take a step up. Stand up. Awesome. Okay. Wow, we got like a whole yoga for golfers session going. This is awesome. Okay. Don't sit down. Let's do one Good. Thank you so much. Thank you. These guys need a round of applause. Yeah, you can keep it tall, by the way. That's our gift from Amino Vital. Oh, yeah. Take it. You can keep it. Yeah, so, yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, now I want to give you another stretch, yoga for golfers stretch that you can do on the cart. Okay? So sit to the edge of your chair. All right? Cross your right leg over your left. Like, when I do this with my baseball players, if I want them to do this versus this, I say, cross your legs like you're a girl. And they go, I'm not a girl. I don't know how to cross my legs like that. And I'm like, well, you know enough about girls, so just cross your legs like that. All right? So now what you want is your foot like this. Okay? And I want you to push down on your knee, but I want you to pull up against your knee at the same time. So you want to bend your left leg. There you go. That's fine. Good. Now sit up tall and breathe. Yep. Good. Now, if that's enough for you, stay there. Again, this is how I teach everything in building blocks. If there's more, start to bring your chest down towards your shin. Ah, my friend with the bad back, this is for you, honey. Okay? Good. Okay, come on up and switch sides. Yep. Push down and pull up against the leg. You can sit up really tall, but drop your shoulders down. Drop your shoulders, yeah. Good. And then if you can, fold forward. Okay, now stand there for a couple breaths. This is one of my favorite things to do on the course. If you've got your club and you're not on the cart, you can come on up. Just hold your club like this, cross your leg over, and sit way back. Okay? You should do it every 2 to 3 holes. Okay? All right, you guys have any questions or thoughts? I know we had a lot of people with questions, and I asked you to think about them before we started. Do you have a question? You have 3 back surgeries?
What's 1 or 2 good you can show?
Yeah, well, again, with your low back, you got to do what's below and above. So another one of my favorite poses, and I do this in variations of it in all of my DVDs. We call this a dynamic alligator. It's for thoracic extension. So if you just come down to your side like this, right? What you can do is inhale, rotate open this way, and then back. Then you can build upon that by extending this leg out and this leg down, and then come back. If you have any issues with your shoulder, your hands on your waist, that's how you modify it. That's a really good one because it's getting the hip a bit, but the T-spine too. Yeah. Anybody else? Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, what she's saying is there are a lot of golf stuff focuses on external rotation of the hips versus internal. Is that what you're asking? Yeah. Yeah. I have, do you want to come up and do this one?
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us at
Okay.
PGA 4.
Let me show you this one. Okay. So if you bring your left leg out and right leg back. Okay. So what you can do is you take your right hand to your hip, right? And let it come into internal rotation. Now pause there to push your right knee into the ground first. Okay? Then from here you can go into external rotation. Okay? Another one is, and you make a really good point, because what happens is when we have weak arches, it affects the adductors and the pelvic floor. And I don't have a lot of time to talk about the pelvic floor, but in my world and in the chain reaction biomechanic world, that if your arches are weak, like if you have flat feet, are you good with that? Okay, I'm going to stand up and change something. Okay, thanks. And I'm going to talk about the internal, strengthening the internal. So if you look at my legs, okay, and I have pretty good arches, but if I let my arches pronate, fall in, does this look like a lot of people, like with their arches falling in? Well, if you notice, when the arches fall in, my adductors got weak too. So if I even just practice lifting in my arches, you can see that the inner thighs, the adductors start to strengthen, okay? Now that's important because in golf, we have that internal, external rotation, and if I start like this, I'm not building a good foundation, okay? So it's interesting too, because in baseball, a lot of catchers have very weak adductors because they spent their career like this, right? So one of the things that you can do to actually kind of strengthen that on the back, I can't lay back because of the mic, but if I'm like this, right? Your legs come at a 90-degree angle, and you would just take a towel and just squeeze the towel, right? To help strengthen the adductors. The other thing I would say is whenever you can, take your shoes off, please. Take your shoes off. So when I'm working with my athletes, a golfer, a baseball player, the first thing I do when I do my assessments with them and I assess gait, I look at their feet. And I'm working with a pitcher right now who what I uncovered is that the problem with his right shoulder is from a broken left big toe. This all works together. It's the same thing in golf, which is why it's so important that we shouldn't just go, well, I have a back problem. Your back problem could be coming from your arches. It could also be coming from your cervical spine. So you got to look at the body as a whole, one whole entity, and not just one area, you know? I was working with a guy also who's a big runner, and he had a knee problem. And he's also a golf pro. And so I do a lot of work with him, and so he said, my knees really bother me. He said, let me come work with you. And I did an assessment. His foot was so flat, these are his words, that when he comes out of the pool, his footprint looks like a ski. You know what I mean, right? So what I did was, I just worked his feet, worked with the chain reaction biomechanics, the kinematic sequence, and we took away his knee pain. Right? So one of the things that you can do, and I don't have a wall here, well, no, can't do that. What you do is with your shoes off, you guys should all do this at home. You take your shoes off, you put the base of your toes on the floor and the heel against the wall, right? And then what you would do is step your left leg forward into a lunge, okay? And all you do is bend your back knee a little bit. You take an inhale, not forward, inhale here, and then exhale, extend your right leg, take this right hip into extension and drive your heel back into the wall. And you can do that a few times. I can have an MLB player sweating in 30 seconds when they do that. I mean, I'm not kidding, because it's so hard. Guys just working their feet. Even if you just sit, you know, obviously my shoes are on, but if you sit like this, right, and you kind of just sit back, and you have to actually reach back and like kind of spread your toes wide, right? I can make you cry in a minute. Namaste. Right? But working your feet like this, coming into it for 30 seconds, coming out of it for 15 seconds, you know, going back in, coming back out, is really important for golf because everything starts in your feet. The sequence starts in your feet. And if your feet are flat, you're already, as I said, setting up a poor foundation. Anything else? Yeah, go ahead. That's another good question. He said, what's the best exercise, best yoga pose for flexibility in the hamstrings? Again, for me, I look at the whole body, but I think the hamstrings need to be stretched, not just on the ground the way that we did that with that specific sequence, but I always try to do things in the most authentic environment as possible. So I really like this. This is in yoga, we call this a warrior 3 pose. In weight training, they call it a single leg RDL, it's a single leg Russian deadlift. But when you do it, you would have a little bend in your knee, right? So it's not locked out like this. It's a little bend in your knee. You can have a club. We do this in the DVDs too. You can have a club here, and what you do is you just kind of come down, you feel the stretch, and then you come up a little bit. You come down, you feel a stretch, but what you're also doing is loading your right glute, and that helps when you, if you're a right-handed golfer, right, to load your right glute at the top of your backswing. I like those two together. Yeah. Anything else? Any questions on breathing or mindset or movement? No? So just to give you a little heads up, what you guys have there is I created a handout for you that has a dynamic warm-up on it, right? And please use that. We also, I'm a brand ambassador for Amino Vital. I'm a huge believer in their product. So there's some information there. Their booth is right back there, so go back and grab a sample. And yeah, yeah, you can always, I'll just tell you this one thing. On our website, we have something called the Golfer's Profile. And what it does is it'll ask you 10 questions about your game, your strengths, your challenges, your fitness level. This is all free. And then based on that, it will send you instantly in your email the 5 to 10 yoga for golfers tips that are kind of the answers to, you know, your questions, your challenges, both from a golf perspective and a fitness perspective. And I really wanted to do that because I wanted it, you know, what we do, my guiding principle is always how can I be of maximum service to everyone I come in contact with. And for me, we created that so that instead of us like, oh, buy here, it's like, here, we want to give this to you for free so that you can get started. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Again, thanks to TPI.